everyone, it's Holly. Welcome back to my channel. So if you have clicked on this video, it's probably because you need some kind of guide or structure, or maybe you are just curious. But today's video is actually going to be a more informative one, which is how I build big areas. And if you're like me and you get overwhelmed really quickly, this is a way you can do it. So you split it up into layers, which makes it easier to manage. So I recently tore down my island after spending months trying to build it, and I was left in a predicament of I want to build, but I just don't even know where to start, and I've got some really big wide open areas. So the first thing I want to touch on is that the method I'm going to be using for this is layers, and I find layers are the easiest way to build things. It breaks it down, it makes it easier to go step by step instead of trying to do a little bit of everything all at once. And the reason I put up a definition as to what layers means is because at the end of the day, as long as it's your desired result, then that's all that matters. Okay, so the first thing you do before anything else is you need to clear the area completely, including any pre-existing custom design patterns. Then we are actually going to start off with pathing. So I find this just the easiest way to do it. I start literally from the ground up, whether that's an in-game path or if that's a custom design path, whichever one you're going to use, or maybe even a mixture of both. I always do that first. The shape of the path really depends on what kind of aesthetic you're going for. Mine is kind of swampy, tropical, very natural kind of vibe. So for me, it was really important to have like lots of random curves and edges. However, if you're doing, for example, like city core or something that's a little bit more built up, you might want to go for more like right angles and make it a little bit more uniform, I guess. And because of my island theme, I opted for this kind of light dirt path. I think it ended up working out really nicely. I had some like bigger areas as well, like in corners, and I just think the shape of it overall just ended up looking very good. So this next part of this category probably won't apply to everyone, but I tend to work big to small. So on my island, I have a path and then I also have a pond. So I wanted to put down my pond design because the thing is, once the pond design is down, I then kind of know how to shape my areas a little bit more. So if you do have a similar kind of custom design that takes up a lot of space, I would definitely start to put this down now. So we're just going to take a really quick break from pathing, or maybe the pathing part for you is now done. So for me, I then go on to an inverted path. So the best thing for me to do is to start putting down my greenery, and that is trees, shrubs, and maybe even flowers. I didn't put the flowers down for now just because, like I said, I'm using an inverted path and I need to work that out first before I start putting flowers down. At this point, what you want to look at is what trees you want, what stage of growth you want them, and also what shrubs you want. Now, the way I usually do this is I usually place trees first, then shrubs, then flowers. I always work big to small. One thing we have to consider when we're building is that the grid can be a little bit funky. So I just like to make sure I'm making it as easy for me as possible by putting down bigger items and then going to smaller items that don't require as much space. Now, this next step you can fast forward if you're not going to be using an inverted path, but I find one of the best ways to create dimension in an area is by using custom designs that allow you to invert the in-game path. In-game path designs, we are kind of pushing them in, so I focus the design on the corners, and then what ends up happening is you end up getting this really lovely natural shape, but using the in-game path. And then actually I find for things like sprinkle patterns, weeds, I find that this works really well. But I would say out of all the things that I do in this build and when I structure my builds, I would say for me personally, this is the most tedious part because we're essentially trying to carve out a shape using custom designs. So it's not my strong point, but I find that inverted paths look really nice. Now, before we put out any furniture, because the next step is going to be furniture, is go and grab your portable storage, whether that's the storage shed or storage cupboard or whatever it is. Go and grab one and have it in very close proximity to the area that you're working in. One of the things I find the most difficult that you will come on to see in this video is that I have all of these ideas, but there's so many different furniture pieces, especially now. And for me, it's just about trial and error and seeing what works the best. What I want to say here is that this is the way you place furniture, and this is how you do it, and this is how you make something amazing. But unfortunately, if I knew that, I'd probably be a bit of a celebrity, not gonna lie. This point I find is the most difficult for me because it's when I have to start really shaping the areas using furniture. So this area I'm about to show you isn't done, and I just want to be realistic and just say that, like, it's okay if it takes you a while to fill up a space. It's okay if this process takes you 30 minutes. It's okay if it takes you 30 hours. Just take it at a pace that you feel the most comfortable with. I feel like in the Animal Crossing world, we are so used to seeing these amazing elaborate builds that are done so quickly, when actually the majority of people don't necessarily work that way. So it's totally alright if you're taking a little bit longer to build something. The point of this video is that it's just to help you structure it. It's to help you put it in boxes and just make it a little bit easier to know where to start. So everyone, I just want to say that even if this has only helped one person, I hope it just reinforces the mindset of it's okay to do things in small baby steps. It's okay to not do things very, very, very quickly. You know, take your time, don't get overwhelmed, maybe break it down a little bit. And my method might not be the same as your method. Some people are a lot more fluent with it and can just start placing things here, there, and everywhere. It's just that for me personally, I just can't really. I need a plan. I need a structure. I need someone to say, like, right, this is how you get from A to B, from B to C, C to D, etc. So everyone, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.